I am going to introduce you a project that is currently work in progress in Tallinn University in Estonia. And the context of our work are massive open online courses. The first widely known open online course was organized in fall 2007 by David Wiley. And in this course, basically anybody who was interested in the topic was free to enroll to the course. And after that, there have been quite a lot of these kind of courses, and some of the courses have even got more than 1,000 participants, like the courses by Stephen Downes and George Siemens. And we were inspired by these courses, and together with my colleague Teemu Leinonen, we organized our own first open course in spring 2008. And we had 70 participants who signed up for the course. And later we both continued with these kind of courses in Finnish and Estonian Wikiversity. But there we have less participants typically. What kind of learning environment we are using in these open courses? In a typical case, the learning environment can be divided into three parts. The central part is course wiki and course blog. So in a wiki we have this weekly schedule, and in the blog we post an assignment for each week. And then all the students are using their personal blogs, and all the learning content is in the open web, and there are several other services like Twitter or Delicious that are used. Here you can see an example of a course blog and a course wiki. So in the beginning we also used wiki for signing up for the course, and it was quite a lot of manual work to get all these names to the course blog role, and if somebody drops off, delete him from the blog role, and so on. So the problem is that how to follow and support these learning activities that take place in these open courses, and typically they take place also in several different Web 2.0 applications. We had a vision, and in the first vision we were thinking that this EduFeedr software that we are designing would be like a catalog of open courses. When you go to EduFeedr, you can see what kind of courses are running there. You can see some recent blog posts, recent comments from these courses. And you can also join and set up your own course in EduFeedr. And every course would display also the most recent blog posts and comments, and some visualizations that help to understand what kind of activities are going on in the course. And we set the following requirements and limitations for our project. So the first requirement was that EduFeedr should support all major blogging platforms using open standards. And it should work without any plugins on student blogs. Because in our courses, typically students are using hosted blog services like Blogger or WordPress.com, and you can't get your own plugins there. We also decided that in EduFeedr, only the teacher will have a user account to modify course settings. But the students, they just enroll to the course, and it is a shared feed reader that anybody could use. Our design methodology. When we were running first courses, then I did all kind of small prototypes of a database for managing all this information, and actually I was using Bento database software for that. But then in 2008 I took part from the Mozilla Open Education course, and in that course we developed 6 scenarios that described how this kind of system, then we started to call it EduFeedr, could be used. And later, with these scenarios, we organized several design sessions, both in Estonia and in Finland, and came up with user stories and paper prototypes. Now I can show you some pictures from the current version of EduFeedr. We launched the first working version now in September, and at the moment we have 7 courses running there. Only 1 is in English, other are in Estonian, in Finnish. When you go to EduFeedr, you can see a list of courses that are in the system. Some courses are new, they will start next year. And then if we take one course, then every course has this course feed page that is similar to Facebook wall. When you go there, you can see the most recent blog posts from the course and most recent comments from the course. And if the courses are open for enrollment, then anybody can join the course. They just need to put their name and email and blog. And in the participants page, you can see the list of participants, but also it is possible to download OPML files that contain all these blogs. So you don't have to use EduFeedr to follow the course, but you can import all the blog posts feeds and comment feeds to your own feed reader and use this to follow the course. And to make it easier to create a blog role in the course blog, we have this code that looks like embed code, and you can just copy it, put it to WordPress widget, and it's there. In our case, typically we have each week 1 assignment, and EduFeedr helps to keep track how many assignments people have completed. So the facilitator must specify all the weekly assignments in EduFeedr, and based on this, the system will display a progress chart. Now there are several complicated issues with this progress chart, because in the initial design we thought that people who write a response to this assignment in their personal blog, they would put a link to the assignment in the teacher blog. It is a common blogging practice that if you blog about something, you put a link to this post. But unfortunately, in most of the cases, people don't put this direct link. So these dark blue boxes, they have a blog post that is linked with the weekly assignment. With other boxes, we just have to predict that it is probably posted for that week. And then we also display the social network between the people. So connections should be made when participants are either linking or commenting another participant. At the moment, this visualization script that we are using doesn't work really well, but it is also possible to download the visualization data. And for example, with many eyes, you can already get a much more nice visualization. Our idea is that we should provide as much data for downloading as possible, so that people could use their own tools. And in addition to these formats that we provide now, we are also thinking about other social network data formats like GraphML, and we are thinking about downloading the whole course, all the blog posts, all the comments in some format. Now, a few words about the technical implementation. EduFeedr is developed as a plugin for ELG, social network engine. And we have used several open source components there, and the source code of EduFeedr is also open source. Also, in the current version, we have some limitations. The first really bad limitation is that at the moment we support completely only Blogger and WordPress, because EduFeedr needs both the blog post feed and comments feed, and it is not possible to get the comments feed for all blogging platforms. But we are looking for ways to solve these, or we just get the post feed from other platforms. Then there are difficulties with linking student posts with the assignments, and also there are problems with linking comments with the participants. Our initial idea was that we will use this URL that the person has put into the comment metadata, and if this is her blog in the course, then we know who she is. But actually, in most of the cases, there is some other URL. It could be their Blogger profile, OpenID, something else. And then students use one blog for several things, sometimes for one blog for several courses, and then unrelated posts might come up in the course feed. So the facilitator can hide these. And also, EduFeedr doesn't work well for visualizing old courses, because it can use only the information that is available in the feeds, and these contain only, depending on the platform, 10 or 25 recent items. To solve this problem with linking the assignments and also linking comments with people, we are planning to use people, so that anybody who is reading these posts and comments from EduFeedr can connect these with an assignment or a person if they are not connected yet. We hope that maybe this will work. And conclusions. At the moment, we are doing the first evaluation. 4 courses are running in Tallinn University, and we are planning to do some usability testing. Then in the future, we are planning to start aggregating also content from other Web 2.0 services. The first service we want to support is Twitter, because it is actively used in courses with hashtag. And when our visualization scripts will work fine, then we are planning to provide these visualization widgets that could be embedded to external services. So, for example, you could have just visualizations from EduFeedr in your own course blog, but you don't have to use EduFeedr so much. And this archiving is also in the to-do list. And what is the value of EduFeedr for open education? At first, I think that the open education community would need this kind of portal that lists all the courses with open enrollment, because nowadays they are around in all kind of wikis. There are some courses in Wikiversity. There is peer-to-peer university, but this information is in many places. And then the second valuable thing with EduFeedr is that in case of EduFeedr, learners can create their own personal learning environments around blogs. We don't force them to use one system. And also, in a course, there are several scenarios how EduFeedr could be used. It could be used as a central component of the learning environment that everybody used to follow the course activities. But also it could be used just as an enrollment tool, and then those people who like, they can use EduFeedr. This research has been supported by a DORA program, And thank you for your attention. I'm interested in questions.
I'm going to invoke privilege and ask the first question. So in terms of the feeds that are supported, either for the assignments coming in, or the assignments the professor is putting on his blog that are going in as assignments, or the feeds that students are adding when they come to join and register for the course, can those be category-based feeds, or do they have to be the root feed?
At the moment, they are the root feed, but we are planning to add support to categories. In the first courses, we had these in-service teacher trainings where people used one blog for the course, but now master students, they have several courses in one blog. So.
Right. Okay. Well, I have to say, trying to run a course like this in 2007 and then 3 years later to see somebody that's written a tool to make it easier to do, I'm very grateful for the work that you've done. Brian?
Yeah, this looks fantastic. And I'm just curious, do you have any sense of what are there limits to how many feeds can have before it starts to just choke on the sheer number of feeds?
I don't have a good answer for that, but we have tried it with data from the course where we had 70 participants. But then it kind of worked.
Hans, enjoyed that. Why do you collect the social network data?
For me, as a teacher, the social network will help to see people who are alone in the course. Because one of the major problems with these open courses is that a lot of people drop out. In the course we did, the first course we had 70 participants, and 50 from those 70 who signed up started the course, and 15 completed. And when I see people who are alone, I can go give some comments, and I think that feedback is really motivating factor on these courses.
Can I ask a follow-up, then?
You just did. Sorry. No. You can ask another.
How bullying you are. I didn't want to kick in. Are you making assumptions about those people, then? Are you, as a tutor, are you only going on and commenting on their blogs and their work then to try to encourage them to participate because you have a sense that if they're not participating, they're likely to fail?
Well, it's really depending on the content of their posts. With some posts, you really can't comment anything, but I'm trying to comment as much as I can in these courses.
And the context of these open courses is that not everyone's enrolled for credit. Many of these are just people from the community who are interested in the issue, who want a mechanism for participating. And maybe life gets in the way or things happen, but they were never formally enrolled for credit. They hadn't paid tuition. This is an informal experience they were having, and the commitment was lower, and you expect to lose some of them over the course.
Monitoring is an interesting thing.
Yes. Agreed. In the back. Oh, here. Yes.
I just want to hang out with a statement in your presentation, but I guess it's an open question to the audience. We're planning to do some research around usability around sugar, the XO OLPC interface, which has a constructionist, but we've only came out with thinking aloud as a methodology. Is there? But it also has much criticism as a methodology to measure usability. Is there a better way to measure usability in an educational environment?
Well, I think this usability could be measured in really several ways, but we have done Think Aloud with screen recordings in several projects, and this is really fast and lightweight method. So I think it's better to use some fast and lightweight usability testing than not to do usability testing at all.
Are these courses asynchronous in that they're for an open period of, like, let's say 6 months, or do you have a fairly strict schedule where it's following, like the assignments really are due every week, or is it just the assignments are due when they're done and you follow through until it's finished?
These courses we have at the moment, they are typically this kind of 4 months university courses. But one course is also 6th grade Estonian language course, so it will last until May.
Is there a difference between them?
Not really. You will just have more blocks in the progress chart.
Okay, that's time. Well, please join me in thank you, Hans.